So, hello everybody. Today I'm joined by Vicky. Vicky, thank you for taking the time. Can you do a little quick intro of who you are and what it is that you do?
Yeah, absolute pleasure to be here, Alexi. I'm Vicky Russ, and I am a purpose recovery coach, and also a leadership teacher and coach.
Cool. Well, glad to have you here, Vicky. So, me and Vicky have been working together a couple of months now. So I thought it was come a long way, made a lot of progress. I thought it was a good
Yep.
point to check in. So let's start with, I guess, the less fun stuff. Let's go backwards. Before we started working together, what was like the main frustration that you were facing in your business that you were hoping I could help you with, essentially?
Okay, so my main frustration, and it had been going on for nearly a year, was um, actually building a presence on social media and particularly on Instagram. I'd
Yeah.
been stuck on 300 odd followers for probably 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was sort of following all the instructions that you and guidance that you get generally around creating organic content and producing reels and so that it goes beyond your followers. But I was sort of just stagnant. And what that meant was I wasn't attracting any clients, just
Hmm.
wasn't attracting any clients to work with, even though I knew my product was really good. Um, but yeah, so I sort of worked on my niche. It taken me a long time to really define my niche.
Yeah.
So I was just at the point, therefore, that I wanted some proper guidance on how to take my products and my niche to market. And that's where you came in.
Nice. There we go. And so at the time then, what was your feeling about, or about all of that really, about generating leads, getting sales, getting clients at the end of the day? What was your feeling around all of that?
I was really anxious actually because I'd been made redundant uh, over a year ago, and I needed to earn money. I had, fortunately, a really good job teaching level 7 leaders at
Mm.
university. So that gave me a bit of income. But I really wanted to build my coaching business, partly because I'm aware that that level 7 teaching is going to come to an end because the funding for it has been withdrawn. So I
Yeah.
was absolutely at the right point to use my teaching to support me while I built my, coaching business. And so I was therefore in a position where I could start to properly consider paying for advertising. Um,
No.
and yeah, and you came along at just the right time. It was, the universe, things falling into place. Because I'd just been on a training course as well, talking about social media monetization and using paid for advertising and focusing in on one platform. So
Mm.
that lesson, that sort of training I'd had when you came along, you were you were saying all the same things. And I thought, okay, that's that's what I need.
And cool. And so I guess you don't have to name drop specific things, but like what strategies had you tried before and what was that like for you to try and get you customers?
So I'd spent nearly a year flip-flopping around my niche.
Yeah.
Um, it just wasn't defined enough. Um, I'd followed all the rules. I'd paid for courses in marketing and launching my business. Um, but they'd all sort of talked about theory. It was all
Okay.
conceptual. And what was different about your approach was it's hands-on. It's you
Mm.
for a start. And lots of these experts will sign you up, but then you don't see them again. It's videos and training and um, or just concepts, sharing concepts, and you have to then figure it all out yourself anyway. But
Mm.
what I really needed, and I knew I needed it, was coaching.
Yeah.
Because obviously I understand the value of coaching, but it was being in a position to afford that. Uh, And so, yeah, I've realised that I've done the classic, looking back, that I have tried to do it all myself, and as a result, it's taken me twice as long.
I see. Okay. And so when we had that first conversation together, what made you go ahead and actually take the decision to do it?
Uh, because well, first of all, I'm the sort of person that will always explore opportunities.
Yeah.
So when I had a phone call from your colleague to say, oh, you've responded to something, um, would you like a call? I thought, yeah, well, why not? Because I'll learn something, even if I
Yeah.
can't afford what he's offering, I'll learn something.
Yeah.
And so I did that. But then on the call, and also your videos uh, were really important. They influenced me a lot because you you shared some videos where you were actually demonstrating with your client how to
Mm.
do stuff. It's the how that that makes you stand out for me.
Mm.
So I've worked with a couple of other coaches. I've invested in some coaching, but it didn't work out because they didn't tell you how. They just told
Yeah.
you what to
What?
do,
Yeah.
and and then you were left to it thinking, well, I don't know how to set my Instagram page up. I don't know how to describe myself. I don't know
Yeah.
um how to set up an advert. I don't know how to do that stuff. Um and that's where you have something different
Nice. Thank you. I
because you
appreciate
cover
that.
you cover that detail.
Thank you. And so before we get to the fun stuff,
Yeah.
what did you want to achieve by working together?
Sales.
Sales. Okay. Now let's get to the fun stuff. Where are
Sales.
you?
That's what I wanted. I
We're not
wanted,
even
well, I also
gone.
wanted the lead measures, to those
Yeah.
sales. I wanted to increase my profile, raise my profile generally, because that gives you credibility as a
Yeah.
as a professional. So a measure of that was to increase my number of followers on Instagram
Yeah.
because that was embarrassingly low. Um, be a bit clearer on my niche, develop that, make sure that I'm communicating that clearly, what it is I do exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that the simple thing, people might think it's simple, setting up, optimizing your Instagram page, but it isn't. And most other coaches will just say, oh, go and optimize your Instagram page. They won't tell you how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So the fun stuff then, I mean, we're not
Yeah.
even done. We've still got time together. So maybe done
Yeah.
this prematurely, but I'm sure there'll be a lot more success coming. But what have you achieved since we've worked together in now, what, two months now?
It's not even 2 months,
Not even two
Alexi.
months.
Um, but no, I'm really excited to be here because I want to share the successes I've had in such a short amount of time. So I was so keen to get that presence, to get advertising. I really wanted to start advertising on Instagram because I could see from your content that you get results.
Yeah.
And also I didn't want to waste time. I don't have time to waste because my other sources of income are gonna, peter
Fizzle.
out.
Yeah.
So I was absolutely focused on just doing as I'm told, really, which is unusual for me. But but I followed your videos, which I didn't really appreciate that you had all that when I signed up with you.
Okay.
I didn't realize you had a whole platform and training videos and stuff, but they were invaluable um, as part of my setup. So I followed all of those to the letter. Whenever I hit any hurdles, I just messaged you and you responded and you helped me out. You'd even send me little videos of, click here and do this. Um, and and yeah, so within 2 weeks, I started in the middle of May, and within 2 weeks, I'd gone over a thousand followers
Nice.
from a starting place of 300.
And for
Um,
context for the audience, followers for us are leads, just for
yep.
context of what that means. Yeah.
So and then through June, um, which is, yeah. So I had two weeks in May, which I considered to be my sort of getting started couple of weeks. I didn't
Yeah.
expect to make sales in those 2 weeks. I was putting in place the mechanisms and the process that you were instructing in me to do.
Yeah.
And but then on the 1st of June, I made my first sale.
Very nice.
So
Very,
2 weeks, I made my first sale, and through June, and we're not quite to the end yet. I've made 5 sales,
amazing. That's absolutely
and
amazing. Very nice.
I'm now 2,200 followers.
Wow. It's a lot
So
of numbers.
they were my metrics. And my advertising spend is quite modest. I think it's £20 a day.
Yeah.
It's not That's not excessive, but it's not, tiny either. I think the 20 quid was what you recommended, wasn't it?
Yeah.
As
It's a
a
good starting point.
starting point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm delighted. I've got the results that I wanted. And if June sales are anything to go by, so effectively what that means in terms of money for listeners is uh, a 5K month in June.
Amazing. Amazing. And so
And
that's absolutely fantastic in such a short space of time. Hats off
yeah,
to you for just getting it done and just getting your head down and just being like, right, let's get this finished.
my
So
advice to people, if they're working with you, Alexi, is just do as you're told.
yeah.
Right? Just do what he says because he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh God, that's funny. And so I guess for you then, like considering obviously before where you wanted to get it up and running, like what is that actually, I haven't actually asked you, like what has that actually done for you to be able to have that and get that in place and have that consistency now?
It's amazing, because it's given me real impetus, and it's helped my self-belief. It's
Mm,
given me confidence. It's pushed me. It's pushed me to get stuff organized as well.
yeah,
So the fact that I was making sales made me then develop my products.
yeah,
It's like, how can I add value to what I already offer? And so I've added value as well to my packages that I offer. I've created videos, I've created workbooks for people to use outside of the actual coaching sessions. And I probably wouldn't have been pushed to do that if I didn't have this pressure that when I'm putting all this effort in to start conversations with people on Instagram and then book a discovery call and do all of this, I've got to have the product to back it up.
yeah.
Um, and so that pressure gave me the impetus to get it done. And I'm just generally now motivated. Whereas before I was a little bit like my clients, I was a little bit sort of lost. I was
Yeah.
directionless, um, and focusing too much on the teaching when I knew that my efforts needed to go into the coaching now.
Mm.
So it's had a massive impact on me as a coach because it's made me develop as a coach as well as the business.
Nice. No, I'm glad to
And
hear
it's
it. And it's nice to see. And it's a quick turnaround, but you put in the work to do it. So very, very well done for you. And the cool bit is, like you say, we're not even 2 months in. Like we've still got
no,
over half the time left. So God knows where
this
you
is the
where you're going to be at the
this
end
is
of
the
it.
beginning. 5K month is history. I now want a 10K month.
10. We'll do it. We'll do it. We'll put it out there that the next milestone for you is 10, and we'll catch up again in a
Yeah.
few months when
I'm
you're
not
at 10.
expecting it next month,
Yeah.
obviously.
Month after 10 then. Cool. And well, look, I've genuinely really enjoyed working with you. Just been very easy to work with. It makes me laugh. You just turn up to the group calls like, yeah, I've made another sale. You're just cracking along. You've just been smashing it. But what's been for you? What's been your favorite part of working together?
Uh, I I really like that you're so accessible and you
Yeah.
don't mind, it's never a hassle. So
Mm.
I'll get stuck on something and I'll just drop you a WhatsApp and you'll respond and you'll give me the answer. Um, you won't just say, "Oh, try this or try that." It's like, here's a little video of me showing you what to do. That's really helpful. And I really like the group calls. Uh, they're great because you're building a little community. Um,
Yeah.
we follow each other on Instagram and we'll message each other. And it's yeah, and we keep each other going and we celebrate our successes on your platform. Um, it's yeah, it's a little community that you're creating, which is lovely. But yeah, in terms of working with you, you're just really easy to work with. You just straight talking, and what's lovely is we ask a question and you'll give us an answer, or you'll
Cool.
give
Well,
us an idea for how you might get around that, you know.
yeah.
And also, I like that you'll give us reassurance. So when things start to go a bit awry, you'll say, "Oh yeah, yeah, no, that happens sometimes, or that happens to me, or yeah, every now and then that will happen. Don't worry, just move on." And that's reassuring because when you're working on your own, it's those little things can really start to erode your confidence
Yeah.
and you start questioning your your ability, you start questioning your product, you start questioning your pricing. And it's not that. It's just market fluctuations, it's hot weather, people aren't, engaging in conversation on Instagram. It can be anything. So you just have to ride those little peaks and troughs
Yeah.
and look at the overall average. And I mean, it's a bit early days for me to do that, but it's looking good so far.
No, it is. It's cool. No, amazing. Thank you. I appreciate everything you've said there. And so I think an interesting question, which I think will help people watching, is like, did you have hesitations before you signed up? Like, was there anything that nearly stopped you or you were uncertain about before going ahead?
Yeah, definitely. I've I think I alluded to it earlier, but I've tried a few coaches in the past. I've paid 5 grand for a um, coaching sort of marketing module to launch your business,
Yeah.
and none of them had really produced the results that they promised. You know,
Mm,
because it was all supposed to be this is everything you need to launch your new business. Um, but of course, it wasn't because the how was always missing.
yeah.
So it was always this is what you need to do. You need to develop a niche. Yeah, okay, right. That's not that easy. You need to, you know, get yourself on social media. You need to set up a website. You need to, and so you tick all these boxes of what you're supposed to do, and it still doesn't happen. And you think, well, I've done everything I think that's that I should, but it's
Mm,
still not coming together. And the reason for that was the how, that building a funnel, a process, a system was the bit that was always missing for me.
yeah.
And I have tried other sort of systems that promised, it was all in one place. It was like a one-stop shop for you to manage your business. And it develops a funnel and you create landing pages and you do this and you do that. And then you've got to integrate your Calendly and integrate your emails and set up an email list. And it was all so complicated. And I, I would stand here thinking, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do it. And then you'd phone someone or you'd email and support, and you'd get some email back saying, "Oh, look at your HDMI, ADL, check your back office." It's like, I don't know, you're talking a different language. And your system is so beautifully simple and straightforward. And it works. And
There
it
we go.
works. So you just don't need all that
Yeah.
malarkey.
Yeah.
Maybe when you scale up and
Yeah.
running
Well,
a £1 million business, but
yeah, you'd be surprised though. Like you can go quite far with like what we've just done for you there. Like you don't
yeah,
need, it doesn't need to be complex. Like you
it
can have
doesn't.
more complex stuff, but you don't have to do it. So
Really doesn't. And that's been my key learning. But yeah, that my hesitation working with you was to do with my past experience and promises in the past not being fulfilled. And I've realized, and I took the plunge anyway because I liked, really it was your videos that you
okay,
shared, which were clear just demonstrations of a system that worked.
yeah,
um, and that really convinced me because I knew at that time that's what I needed. I needed someone to help me through, step
All
by
the steps.
step,
Yeah.
um, because that's what had been lacking.
Yeah.
And I loved that. And when I spoke to you initially, and I was asking you about, well, do I need an email, management system, and do I need this, and do I need to create funnels? Do I need to create landing pages? And you were like, no, 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 well, you can, but don't need to. And I thought, oh, music to my ears.
Yeah. Cool. I appreciate you sharing that. Well, last question for you, Vicky. I appreciate your time. Uh, well, simply, who would you recommend us to and why?
I'd recommend you to any coach that's in a similar position to me, in that, you've got your coaching accreditation, you're a good coach, but you just can't attract and reach your ideal client. Um, and yeah, your marketing approach on Instagram is just fantastic. When I think how long it's taken me in the past to get to just a few hundred followers, and now I'm already over 2,000. And I compare it to LinkedIn. It's taken me a year of focused work on LinkedIn to get to just 1,000
Oh,
followers.
wow. Wow.
So I know how hard it is to do it organically.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, so I would recommend you to anyone that's in a position where they want to develop a nice, simple, straightforward system that they can keep in control of. I do think my clients appreciate that it's me they're dealing with, just
Yeah.
as I appreciate that it's you I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
As soon as you start passing that off, then I think it dilutes your offer. Um,
Yeah.
so so yeah, I would recommend you to anyone really, Alexi.
Cool.
Anyone
Thank
that
you.
wants to market their business online
Oh, amazing.
and get
Thank you very much,
results.
Vicky. Thank you. I really appreciate you
Thank
taking the
you.
time. And we're
Thank
still
you.
early days. So hopefully
I
2 months we'll be
know.
back with a 10K check mark next to your
Yeah,
name.
can I come back when I'm at the 10K, please?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. That's it is happening. So yeah, cool. Thank you, though, Vicky. I've loved working with you, like I say, and well, barely got started, so it's exciting. So
Yeah,
thank you. And for anybody watching, I'll leave a little video below that just explains what I do and how it works and stuff. But again,
yeah.
Vicky, thank you so much.
And if anyone wants to reach out to me to ask me, for the nitty-gritty, I'm very happy to provide.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Cool. Well, thank you again.
I'll share Alex's dark side.
Cool, thank you.